It's almost like the way they've got control over our bureaucrats and our elected officials. It's almost like, okay, yeah, we're going to do all of this, but you're going to allow us to acquire, whether they buy it or not, land for our purposes, for businesses. We want to acquire your farmland for agriculture. And it's almost like we don't even have a choice. It's almost like whatever deals are being made, or whatever bribery is being done behind closed door with the CCP and the elected official, it's almost like part of that deal is that we hand over U.S. sovereignty in the way of U.S. land to them, which I think should be illegal.
Absolutely, Jeremy. And I think that you were correct. It was not just a farmland, right? It's U.S. It's about the national security and national security of your economic and finance environment in the United States. And when Mr. Miles specifically mentioned about, how you would be able to understand CCP's real estate strategy, you have to look at its nature. In China, if there is no financial corruption, no real estate group will be able to grow bigger. No real estate group will be able to make an acquisition like this of overseas acquisition, right? And if there is no fraud of investors' money, the real estate group will not be able to grow bigger. This is the core of the Chinese Communist Party's real estate market and its strategy. It's centered on defraud. It's centered on a suicidal economic structure, and it's centered on financial stealing and financial corruption.
Well, I think that, you would, at first I was thinking, okay, well, let's just make sure we go state by state. And let's get these states aware of what's going on so they can make it illegal in their own state for the CCP to buy land in their state. But I think it's bigger than that. I think you've got to make it a congressional law. I think we've got to bar and ban China from buying any land. I mean, it's almost common sense to let any other country buy land. But especially our biggest adversary, I don't think going state by state is enough, although it's a start. But I think we need to address this from the congressional level. And I think Congress needs to subpoena Miles Guo from prison to come in front of Congress while we have Congress and to give his testimony as to what comes next. Because we already know where we are. We wouldn't have been here if we would have been listening to Miles years ago when they decided they were going to plot to lock him up. But since we have the Congress now, we could subpoena him, we could bring him in, and he could tell us what happens next if we don't.